Hey, welcome to Fashion Souls. Well, this is the Dark Souls clone, Lords of the Fallen, and just wanted to show you a little bit of the armor that I'm wearing right now. Clearly, Lords of the Fallen goes pretty far into the fantasy realm when it comes to weapons and armor, as opposed to Dark Souls, a little bit more historically accurate, at least when it comes to weapons and armor. But at any rate, this is Lords of the Fallen, and I wanted to show you a couple of the early on boss fights and some sweet, sweet black metal looking armor. Hey, welcome to my channel. This is Lords of the Fallen, just a couple of clips together, a few of the first couple of boss battles. Unfortunately, the Xbox only lets you record 5 minutes at a time. I don't know why. So it's not the full boss battle, because each boss battle takes a little bit longer than that. But it's from 5 minutes to the end But at any rate, this is Lords of the Fallen, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, here we go. Got a little bit started just before this video recorded. Like I say, we're limited to 5 minutes a clip, thanks to the Xbone and its arbitrary regulations about game clip length. I don't know. Anyway, this is the first boss of the game. You don't really have any powers yet. Very early on, you've got a very limited supply of weapons and armor. You don't have any of your magic yet, or any of your range weapons. And just trying to put you towards it. And very much like Dark Souls, it's a try not to trade blows with the boss, and you'll be okay if you just are patient and if you're not greedy. Just try to stand toe and toe and tank the boss and trade blows with him. It's not going to end well for you, just like in Dark Souls. Another interesting feature about bosses in this game is you can see, if you look at the first warden's health bar at the top center of the screen, it's actually delineated into 4 separate little rectangles. And each of those little marks that delineates a section is another stage of another phase of that boss fight. Which is kind of cool that it indicates boss phases. So once you get in past, the first little marker, his behavior will change up a little bit. His attacks may change up. That sort of thing, just to kind of let you know where you are in the boss fight and what's going to happen. Because key to any boss fight is learning his patterns, trying to figure out what he's going to do so you can figure out how to counter it. But it's just a nice little tip there that they show you when he's going to change phases according to his health bar. Now, the music during the boss battle is kind of cool. Unfortunately, the other boss fight I'm going to show you is I think it's going to be without music, because the music during the just normal gameplay where you're dungeon crawling and exploring and stuff, they try to keep that music going, which I think is a mistake in any game of this length, because the music gets really repetitive and it just gets super annoying as they repeat the same couple of chords over and over again. It's terrible. Longer games are much better served by, if it's going to have a sparse soundtrack, to just allow the player to play in silence for a little while, and only use the music when it's important or necessary. But if you've got a limited soundtrack and you try to spread that soundtrack non-stop over 20, 30 hours of gameplay, it's going to get bad. So, at any rate, I turn the soundtrack off for the second boss. And there, down he goes. Ripped up skin and all. Kind of like how in the cutscenes it'll automatically remove your helmet for you so you can see the character's face, and then when you get back into gameplay, it's You got your helmet and stuff back on, and of course it's real time, so all the gear is the same as what you're wearing while you're playing.
What was that? One of those lords Kaslo keeps talking about.
That's the first warden. That's what it was. Okay, here we are, a little bit into the battle with the third boss of the game, the Worshipper, who you, as you can tell, boosh, you fight in the graveyard. This guy was really tricky for me. He killed me a bunch of times. He's got a few tricks. This one here, when you see that animation, and he brings up all these purple, spots on the ground, if you don't run into one of these little shelters, then it doesn't matter how much health you have, that explosion right there will kill you in one shot. Your only alternative is to get into one of those little shelters. When he raises his hands like that, he's bringing adds into the field. See that one egg that I just shot, and that one there. If you allow those to hatch, each one of those has a mob that comes out after you. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to fight those two guys while you're trying to fight and survive the boss battle too. So, if you have a ranged weapon, you've got magic at that point, go ahead and shoot those eggs before they're allowed to hatch. It'll save you a little bit of headache. But it's not absolutely necessary because there is friendly fire in this, and he will damage his own ad mobs. So you can just leave him be, and he'll end up killing them for you if you can avoid them. That one I let hatch. He's running after me. He only took a couple of shots. Anyway, this battle is like most battles, just all about not being greedy. Just keep moving. When he slams the butt of his weapon onto the ground, it'll make this, blue light glow on the ground. If you're caught in that, you'll be stunned, and he'll get a free hit on you. So, try to roll away, and if you can not be locked onto him, it'll probably work a little bit better. Because if you're locked onto him, sometimes you tend to roll in a circle around him, which doesn't get you enough distance from him so you're not stunned. But usually I find it better just to lock on, but I do end up getting stunned from him quite a bit. You can also use a tactic where when he does that move right there, if he's near one of those shelters, he'll break it, and which will cause him to be stunned, and you can take advantage of that to get in a bunch of free hits. But obviously, if you do it too much, you lose all your shelter, because he can destroy them all if you paid him to do so, and then you won't have anywhere to go when he does his one-hit kill attack. If you're agile enough, you can... I got caught in it again, just didn't roll far enough away. Those multiple swings that he does, you can roll through those. And honestly, this one-hit kill attack that he's doing right now, the wind-up on it is so long, you can actually get a chain a few hits out on him before you run away to shelter, if you choose to do so. Careful and make sure you do get to shelter before it blows up, because it will straight up one-hit kill you. Boosh! And there's me getting caught by that stun attack again. And that's it. That's the Worshipper. Took me quite a few tries to get him down, but he's down. That's Lords of the Fallen. Well, that was Lords of the Fallen. I'm probably 4 or 5 bosses in right now. It's a bit tough at first. You keep hearing that it's not as difficult as Dark Souls, but it starts out a little bit tough until you start getting some good weapons and armor. And then it starts getting a little bit easier, and that magic is definitely OP. But the more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it because I'm just getting more and more powerful. But at any rate, I'm still having lots and lots of fun with it. And if you like Dark Souls, if you like those kind of games, then you could do a lot worse than Lords of the Fallen. Thanks again for watching.